All right, we have so much. We were just talking that we are really excited about this topic, and we have like a lot we want to get into. This episode, if you haven't seen the title, is the top 5 foodborne illnesses, top 5 foodborne outbreaks. Really excited about it, but right before we started to record, you dropped some shit on the table here, and not shit in the literal E. coli way, but you dropped some interesting drinks on the table.
Yeah, any of those compelling?
Well, so what do we have? We have a Cutwater espresso martini in a can, and we have a Study Break craft hard seltzer, lychee and white tea. And do I say lychee right?
I thought it was lychee, but
Might be lychee.
who knows?
Yeah, I definitely will have the coffee one.
Okay.
I'll tell you. So we are recording Sunday morning, 9 a.m., a little before 9 a.m. I left the house really early today to do some work and to prep for this episode. My partner was still in bed, and she's like, "Do you want coffee?" And I said, "No, I will." We still have the cocaine energy drinks from when we tasted energy drinks with Amanda Oliver a few episodes ago. So I just grabbed a cocaine out of my drink fridge on the way in today, and it's a bad flavor. It's not one we tried, and I was like, as soon as I tasted it,
What color was
it's
it?
mixed berry. It's blue.
Okay.
And
Is one of the mixes strawberry?
one of the mixes is strawberry, which I really don't like, and it's overwhelming. Maybe it's just because I don't like strawberry, and all I can taste in it is strawberry. So I've been holding my nose and taking big swigs of it at my desk.
I mean, I guess I'm not that surprised. That cocaine energy drink is bad.
It's terrible.
It's like you guys think like we're just talking about Red Bull-esque, but it's way worse.
Absolutely. Very vile. Are these left over from your 4th of July barbecue?
They're actually left over from a different party that we both went to. I won't say where, and then the hosts were like, please take all the booze that people brought.
Okay.
And this was, and then, yeah. And I was going to serve it at the 4th of July, but I forgot.
Okay. Look,
You don't have to.
So I had a lychee recently. I was at Ginger Rabbit in Yucca Valley. Former guest of this podcast, Macy, who runs an Asian grocery store in Yucca Valley where I live, and she was like just giving away lychees. I've never been the biggest fan of them. I've never actually cracked one open raw. Have you ever had an actual?
Yeah, I think you're good.
Okay.
Was it
such a
slimy?
fruit
Is it
guy.
the texture?
I just don't like the flavor that much. It's just generally sweet for me.
I like it.
I like tart more than I like sweet.
They can get pretty tart. So maybe you can get ones that taste like like sour, kind of, in a good way.
But they're they're spiky on the outside, right?
Yeah.
They're a little. I've never actually like cracked one open, and it was really fun to. I actually put it into my grocery bag. I think I went to a bunch of other stores and actually found it. I was going back to a grocery store a couple days later. I'm like, "What's in this bag?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's a lychee." So I ate it in the parking lot of a different grocery store. It was very fun.
Nice.
Reminded me of a loquat a little bit about with getting stuff out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that.
Yeah.
I'd love to try the Cutwater espresso martini.
Yeah, let's do it.
And again, we will get into the topic, and maybe this is a tale for another day when we get into canned cocktails. But a friend of ours works for a chain of restaurants in Los Angeles, and one of my favorite summer Sundays, she was trying to decide on which canned cocktail she would sell at the few of the chains that had the liquor license. So she'd reached out to a number of companies to get samples. And I think this was like right when Cutwater was hitting the scene, like probably, I want to say 2015, 2016 maybe. And they just sent her a flat of all of their flavors, like 4 of each. And she's like, I just filled up the kiddie pool in my yard. It's 105 degrees in Silver Lake. Come over, and we're just going to drink all these Cutwaters and hang out in the sun for the day.
These are dangerous. These are the most dangerous. I would say more than buzz balls or anything like that.
Okay.
Like
I've had Cutwater stuff before, obviously, and I've had it pretty recently. I've not really had their espresso martini one.
I have not either.
Should I give you just a whole half of it?
Sure.
Now, when I have an espresso martini, it's not usually milky. This is like very dairy based. So this feels.
I should actually check the ingredients.
It says coffee cream liqueur.
I didn't even think of that.
Do you want me to take a look and see?
You might have this whole thing yourself.
Okay. Contains milk. Shake gently.
There you go.
Okay. This is all for me then. Dangerous little concoction. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, an espresso martini typically doesn't have a dairy component.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
A little surprising. Have you drink one of these already just on the couch?
No, that was the only one.
Well, cheers. You're enjoying the lychee and tea from a craft Los Angeles brewery, right?
I guess so, yeah.
It's weird. I like some of the Cutwater things, but their White Russian, which also has dairy, I've had recently. This is almost the same as a White Russian. I mean, I guess the ingredients are a little bit different, but not really.
This is also not good at all.
I didn't think it would be.
Let me read you the ingredients. Carbonated water, wine, it just says wine, natural flavors, and then stevia.
Okay, I think we each dodged respective bullets.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
And speaking of dodging bullets, we're here to talk about foodborne outbreaks on
Gingerbread Man Down, Clean Up on Aisle podcast.
Clean Up on Aisle podcast, the dirty truth about grocery stores. We're going to get particularly dirty today. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning, Jeff.
It's a very exciting topic. We are recording this. I guess we should kind of date this. It is Sunday, July 19th.
I have a whole timeline of when you want to get into that.
I think, well, let's get right into it. I mean, we are going to go watch the World Cup final after this, I expect. I think you're joining. I think we're doing it all together. I haven't really talked with you about that this morning. I don't know if you're bowing out or anything.
No, yeah.
Our plan is to all go watch the World Cup after this, record. And we are in the midst of the cyclosporiasis outbreak. Is that correct?
Yep.
Well, okay, I did look this up. Cyclospora is the bacteria, and cyclosporiasis is the thing that when you get cyclospora in your body and then you shit yourself to death, you have cyclosporiasis.
Right.
Am I saying it right?
That seems right.
I did have to talk about this on the radio, and I did mispronounce it live on the radio earlier this week when it was still like a newer word.
Yeah, I wouldn't. You're doing it much better than I think I would have been able to do. So yeah.
I'm a professional news guy, I guess, so I do have to like say the hard stuff. You know what the advice that was given to me was? Say it with confidence.
Yeah.
And say it. Decide how you're going to say it confidently, and just keep saying it that way until somebody directly corrects you.
Which I did about who was it? Rosalia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it Rosalia actually?
No, it's Rosalia.
Rosalia?
Yeah.
Okay. A throwback from last week's episode, I think.
Yeah.
But we are in the midst of the cyclospora bacteria outbreak, hence the topic for this episode. They are starting to issue recalls of Taylor lettuce, but do you want to start the timeline really quick?
Yeah. So the first thing I should say is that last year, John F. Kennedy, R.F. Kennedy, whatever his name
RFK Jr.
RFK Jr.
Mr. Cheryl Hines.
Happened to cut funding and specific programs of the federal parasite tracking program that included the cyclosporiasis tracking.
Okay.
So
I don't want to make fun of the guy too bad, but he's a dog killer. No,
he ate a bear and he had worms in his head.
Well, yeah, he's got the parasite in his head, so like he loves parasites. The parasite got into his brain and said, "Get more of us out there." Like it's like that cat disease you get where it makes you like cats more. Like if you get scratched by a cat, you have a overwhelming affection for cats.
That's right.
He's got the worm in his head, and the worm is saying, "We gotta get more parasites into these people out here."
Yeah, let's stop these programs. We don't need those. Yeah.
So what did he cut?
He cut a specific, there's federal parasite programs that have been running, and they modified how much focus they were going to do on specific things, including this one specifically.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, the CDC from the beginning is on the back foot.
Yes, and they said we don't need to keep track of this, and then once they stopped keeping track of it, then it happens. I mean, I don't want to say it's like a ticking time bomb, but what did they expect was going to happen?
Right.
We've eradicated this. It's the same thing with like oh, well, we don't have to give people vaccines for measles anymore because measles is eradicated. And then you stop giving people the measles vaccine and then measles comes back.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not an epidemiologist and I don't even want to like politicize like this kind of, I mean, it is political, but it's like, as from point A to point B, it's like logically that is what is going to happen.
Well, speaking of which, and you might be like, well, they had no idea that it could show up this way, right? Except in 2013, the exact same facility of Taylor Foods that we'll talk about, Taylor Farms, had the same outbreak. And at that point, they said that they were using recycled water to wash the lettuce.
Okay, you should not do that.
Yeah.
I mean, recycled water is literally, I mean, when you go to a park, it says non-potable water, like irrigated with non-potable water. It's recycled, reclaimed water.
Right.
That is probably, from the sewer.
Well, no, but that wasn't the problem. The problem is that once the water gets a little bit of this stuff in it, then it keeps going around in a circle.
I see. So not the reclaimed water, different. It's just, okay, they're reusing the...
Well, yeah.
That's so funny to do that. That like defeats the point of doing the thing in the first place. If, I got all the gunk off of my hands, and now you stick your hands in there and get the same gunk on it.
Yeah, right.
Very, very funny. So when did we first start hearing about the cyclosporiasis?
So the CDC says that they found cases all the way back in May, but it did not get reported on until July 1st, which is where it's the 19th. So about 2.5 weeks ago. That was the first reporting. And pretty much all or most of the cases are clustered around Midwest states.
Okay.
So Michigan, Indiana, Ohio specifically.
Taylor, so I guess Taylor Farms is a California-based producer, but this is more of a recent development. They're saying it's from a particular farm in Mexico.
Which they own.
It's their farm.
Taylor's Farm de Mexico. But it's like a separate company, quote unquote.
But at first, when this was first being reported, they were blaming Taco Bell.
Yeah. Well, no, it took a little bit while for them to trace it to Taco Bell.
Really? Okay.
It took about 2 weeks for them to even home in on Taco Bell.
I mean, I want the whole timeline, but I just personally, I first heard about it as like the lettuce from Taco Bell is making people sick.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a deflection, if that's like Taylor Farm CEO saying like, let's put this on Taco Bell and kind of give a different scapegoat for the thing.
No, that's real, but it's their lettuce.
Yes.
It's Taylor Farms lettuce from Taco Bell. But no, that's real. That's real. So, we've talked about, we had a bagged lettuce episode and we talked about how it's one of the most potentially health-inducing episode out of anything you can get at the grocery store. The reason why is not that lettuce itself is unique, different than whatever, broccoli or raspberries or something like that. It's that it gets sliced up and you could have a single piece of lettuce from, 1,000 different heads of lettuce.
Okay.
So it could just get spread out very, very fast.
It's kind of that ground beef thing as well, where it's like how many cows are in this weird tube of ground meat. And yeah, I've since then I've kind of curtailed my bagged lettuce buying.
Yeah.
We still buy spinach in a bag, or actually I've been buying the bunches of spinach more than the bagged spinach. I'm like really cutting back on like buying any green leaves from a bag.
Yeah. So after we did that episode, I cut and then I came back into it. I started to do bag, but now I guess I'm out again.
Okay.
So who knows how long that'll last, but for sure.
My partner will still buy the clamshell salads, which I was a huge, huge fan of. And honestly, the reason I probably scaled back on the clamshell salads is it's just very inconvenient for me to get them these days, like with my work schedule. But my partner still grabs one or two. Since the outbreak happened, I mean, in my life, like, for very personally, I feel like it's been about the last week and a half I've been hearing about this. And since my partner, she bought a clamshell salad, and it's like, this one's just all cabbage, so I think it's hopefully safe. But I have a little bit of a follow-up from last week. If you recall, we recorded right after I ate like kind of a weird banh mi from a favorite banh mi spot.
Oh, yeah.
and it did make me quite sick. With, some of the symptoms that one might have from cyclosporiasis.
Interesting.
And if you recall, I was telling you, we went to this place and it was kind of a fiasco. It's a place we really like, and they gave us like all of the ingredients in a bag. I ordered like a different banh mi than I usually do, and it came with like some like loose cabbage and stuff like that. It was like loose cabbage and cilantro that you had to like kind of add yourself. And it was also like a weird meat that I don't usually order. It's I got a crispy pork belly banh mi. And I'd say from Monday and Tuesday, I was pretty much on the toilet. Like I think I got about 1 hour of sleep Sunday night because I was like up on the toilet all night long. I didn't sleep very well. I don't sleep well on Sundays anyway. And I kept being like, if I could just go to sleep, I might be able to like sleep through this and let my body recover. But I was just up in the bathroom all night long that Sunday and Monday as well. And by Tuesday, I was kind of recovered. I did tell my partner, I'm like, hey, I might have got a touch of this cyclosporiasis. And she said, if you had that one, I think you would know if you had that one.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, she's not wrong that this is uniquely, they call it explosive diarrhea. And people, when they get it really bad. But I do think you can get mild cases of it.
Okay, that was some of the worst toilet time I've had in a long time. Not to be too disgusting about it, but it was like, for me, quite gnarly.
So last week we said, is this a place that you would or would not go back to? And you were like, I think I would. It was a bad experience. I'm willing to give him another shot. How do you feel about that now?
That's a hard question. So, my dad, he got some good news recently, and texted me that after his good news through a long ordeal, he was going to go to the same place, the same banh mi restaurant, a different outpost of it.
Okay.
But they have two outposts, and he was going to go to a different outpost. And I did not have the heart to tell him to not go to it.
Yeah.
So he went. I think he's fine. I would have heard if he was not doing very good.
Sure.
So the fact that I didn't warn my dad against it probably means that I would go back.
Yeah.
And even if it is the cyclosporiasis, like, it's kind of as we're going to learn, it's foodborne outbreaks are not particularly unique, but this one is kind of new. We were on the cusp of it a little bit. So I do have some forgiveness. Like, I don't know how often you're going to Taco Bell, but we have a mutual friend who has posted about how he is thankful that Taco Bell took care of it and is already back at Taco Bell. So, like, are you ever going to go to Taco Bell again?
Yeah, of course. I never got that lettuce. I never liked that lettuce. It's the same lettuce that they use at Subway. It has that kind of like chlorinated kind of bagged flavor to it. One of the things I learned is that chlorine doesn't kill cyclosporiasis specifically.
Really?
So
okay,
yeah.
And so you're going to go, and that's the thing.
I would go right now.
Really?
Yeah, I would go today.
You trust that they sorted out their issue?
I mean, I just don't eat lettuce.
Okay.
So from there, okay. So whatever. I get a bean burrito. I know how the beans are cooked. They're from a bag. They're dried from a bag, and whatever. I would get it today.
So let me ask you this then. I mean, I would ask if you would, before we get to the thing I was going to ask you. I mean, would you eat Taylor Farms salad greens from a bag?
No.
Okay, and this is you are seeing this cyclosporiasis outbreak and saying, okay, I think I'm done with Taylor Foods, or you've always been a little bit on the outs with Taylor Farms?
Not Taylor specifically.
Okay.
But the bagged, the bag is so convenient that I want to eat it, but we keep learning that that's just not a safe way of distributing greens. So I probably am going to slow down, if not stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the worst food poisoning you've ever gotten?
At Pitzer.
Okay, that's the school we went to, Pitzer College in Claremont, California.
I don't know what I got it from. It probably was the dining hall, but I remember there was like a on-campus kind of like health center, but it was on Pomona, which is like, I don't know, a mile walk away or something. And I remember it being the longest, most agonizing walk of my life. I had to stop every like 5 seconds. It was pretty rough.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll give you, I don't know if I have top 5, I can definitely give you 4 interesting food poisonings I've gotten. When I was in high school and probably some of college, some friends would always go to amusement parks on Super Bowl Sunday because it was empty. Everybody's home watching the Super Bowl, so you could get on all the rides and do it a bunch.
Okay.
The last time I ever did this, we went to a local Southern California amusement park, Knott's Berry Farm. Mm-hmm. I don't think I had anything other than their Lila Berry Punch, but it hit really bad. I mean, I must have eaten something else that day, but I remember drinking this Lila Berry Punch, which is, they make berries there, and it just like making me feel sick as it was going down. And then I think I fainted at Knott's Berry Farm, and I woke up in the infirmary of Knott's Berry Farm. And I woke up to all of the nurses in the Knott's Berry Farm infirmary talking about Janet Jackson's titty being yanked out by Justin Timberlake.
All right.
So that was the first time I heard about that. I'm not. So that is a core memory for me. When my partner and I went to New Orleans a couple of years ago for our belated 10th anniversary, a friend said, eat oysters from everywhere as much as possible. And that was very good advice. And I had so much fun eating oysters. We went to a pretty high-end restaurant. Like, we got some kind of trashy oysters. And at this one high-end restaurant, we decided to try some East Coast oysters.
Okay.
And those made us sick. It was like, we should have just stuck with local Gulf oysters. We just were like, oh, we just got these in from the East Coast. There's like this kind of cool oyster type. Like, we got upsold a little bit. And it was that upselling that gave us, I believe you get norovirus from oysters, right?
I don't know.
We lost a day of our trip. And the third most famous food poisoning I got was from a local restaurant that has since changed hands. So I don't want to name the restaurant. I don't want to name and shame anybody, but it's a local restaurant. We got food there from the first time, and then the following day, I was so sick, and I was doing the weekend news here at the radio station, where I would come in on Fridays and record Saturday, Sunday, and I was on the floor in the recording booth, and I would get up and like say 20 seconds of lines, and then lie on the floor in the recording booth for like 5 minutes to get the strength to get back up and say like 20 more seconds into a microphone.
Jeez.
So I am back on oysters. My partner's still a bit more skittish than I am. I ate a bunch of oysters last weekend. I have not been back to this particular restaurant in our area. And I'm curious, if you get food poisoning from a restaurant, how quick are you going back to it? Like,
Probably never.
okay.
Probably never. One thing I do want to make a disclaimer. If anybody is health paranoid or food paranoid or something like that, you don't need to listen to this episode. It's probably not going to help.
Okay.
Right?
No.
Because we're only going to document kind of worst case scenarios.
Absolutely.
For every type of food. So if that is a thing that you deal with in any way, you can skip this and maybe you should. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are we? We're sorry that was a bit of a detour into my own personal food poisonings and stuff. But where are we at with the Cyclospora outbreak right now?
So it wasn't until 4 days ago that they targeted Taco Bell as a possible single source, as like the sort of epicenter for where the stuff was coming from. So where are we right now? 2 days ago, Taylor Farms stopped distributing their lettuce from this facility.
There is a recall as well.
Yep. 1 day ago, yesterday, they did a formal recall to Walmart and other retailers where they frequently target. So that's yesterday. So it's pretty new stuff going on.
There have been, the CDC has confirmed as of yesterday, 1,645 cases of cyclosporia, 141 hospitalizations across 34 states. There are no deaths reported as of yet. So the infection causes prolonged gastrointestinal illness, including severe diarrhea, stomach cramps, nausea, fatigue, and loss of appetite. I've seen weight loss going around as one of the symptoms, and I'm like, wish I got that one.
I mean,
just going around, if you're the new hot fad diet in Hollywood is everybody just eating bags of lettuce.
Yeah, going to Taco Bell and ordering salad.
But Yeah, it's kind of a wild one. I did get some information from foodpoisoningnews.com that they are definitely like recalling things. So, it's a work in progress. There are no deaths yet. We're hoping that there's no deaths. This doesn't seem like it's as severe as some of the other food poisonings we've seen. It's just, making you sick, making you shit a lot.
A lot, according to people.
Yes.
Have you ever been on iwaspoisoned.com?
I have.
Yeah.
That's people posting pictures of their shit in the toilet, right?
Not only, but sometimes it's the food, but sometimes it's descriptions. But yeah,
I have spent a little bit of time have you been there since this outbreak?
No, I'm on there right now.
Okay, are we seeing anything from the lettuce?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
But nobody knows exactly what it was. But this person says, extremely unbearable cramping, diarrhea, vomiting, headache. It was awful. Was hospitalized.
Wow.
Taco Bell, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
That was 2 days ago.
And people do like to make the joke that if you eat at Taco Bell, just generally you're going to shit a lot.
Right.
So this is not helping the Taco Bell brand.
Right.
Although, I've got no love lost for Taco Bell, a subsidiary of like Yum Foods brands or whatever, but it does.
Yum Food. Yeah.
Well, I think Pepsi divested the Yum brands.
Okay.
But, I do think that they were maybe made a scapegoat by like a larger, more nefarious corporation.
Taylor
Farms.
I don't know if that's true.
Okay.
I do think that it was maybe convenient for Taylor to point fingers, but it seems like Taco Bell was their major distributor for this specific lettuce.
Okay.
So, yeah. Adam from the future here. So, this is an ongoing story, but since we recorded this on Sunday, a lot has come out. So, the big thing is that it came out that the Taylor Farms executives met with the Trump administration on Thursday. So we recorded on Sunday. They met on Thursday. Taylor Farms has given millions of dollars to conservative groups, including $1 million to the Make America Great Again Incorporated last year. After we recorded this on Sunday, the same day, the FDA claimed that their test linking Taylor Farms to the outbreak was, quote, a false positive. But then on Monday, they clarified that Taylor Farms was still a focus for the FDA as a source. And Jef was right, because it did seem to be that they were trying very directly to point the finger at Taco Bell instead, and not put the finger at themselves. So that seemed to be a very deliberate strategy. So that's the current state as of Tuesday, July 21st.
All right. Do we want to dig in, or do we have any notes about the future of this outbreak?
Well, okay. One thing I should say is that this comes from fecal matter.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's worth mentioning.
This comes from human fecal matter.
A lot of these outbreaks do come from fecal matter, from shit.
Right.
So go on, yes.
So two things. One, most veggies or whatever, just washing is enough. And so you should always wash your veggies, right? Some veggies, like putting vinegar wash is helpful. For whatever reason, this one is particularly not particularly resistant to chlorine and vinegar and regular washing, which is why I think it's showing up. And then the other thing I was just going to say is that I don't know, we should probably think about the conditions of our workers if they have to shit in the field. That's not their fault. That is a systematic.
I'm not surprised to hear that, but I had not considered that to be a factor in the matter. Is that what conditions are like?
Nobody knows. But yes, that is what migrant worker conditions are like.
Okay.
So maybe it's another example of how all of us are connected, and maybe we should treat all of us with some amount of human dignity.
Absolutely.
And maybe everything would be healthier, even on a selfish sort of way.
Well, I don't care about you and where you shit, but if it impacts me, then maybe we could spring for some porta johns.
Right.
That's not my thought. That's
Yeah.
paraphrasing the idea of the company or whatever.
One more before we move out of Taylor Farms.
Yes.
Let me just show you.
Oh, this is a Taylor Farms advertisement. All right. People working, people playing soccer on a grass field, people wearing hazmat suits and masks and things like that. Looking at the lettuce, sorting lettuce. Everybody looks very happy and chill. And how do you feel about this music?
This stock bullshit, but I guess it's doing its job.
All right.
So yeah, this is the facility.
This is the one in Mexico.
This is the one.
Okay.
It's specifically the one that.
All right.
Yeah.
And why was that created? Just to like showcase what they're up to over there at Taylor Farms?
8 years ago, I don't know. Yeah, it's just Taylor Farms' YouTube page. Comments are turned off. I wonder why.
Everything, like a lot of grass. Everything was like very bright and green.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if like that was juiced up in the old edit bay or whatever, but it was my takeaway from watching this video featuring trucks and fields and production facilities, like massive lines with lettuce moving back and forth, is that it felt very green, very bright, shiny green.
And I saw an interview with like a manager of that facility, and every single sentence was about cleanliness. It was about food safety. It was about emphasizing all of that. And this is from whatever,
8 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you really put the fear of God into me with our bagged lettuce episode, where it's I'm getting weird about how I'm eating my animals. I'm getting weird about how I'm getting my lettuce, but for whatever reason, the concept of just you eat a chicken nugget or a fast food hamburger and it has a little bit of cow from Korea and England and Mexico and Canada and America and Argentina, that kind of is repulsive.
That's the melting pot we were promised.
Yeah, the immigration melting pot of U.S. America.
Yeah.
But like, I'm kind of avoiding ground beef unless I know where it was ground. Like, I'm grinding a lot of my own meat these days. Like, I'm just a lot more squeamish about that, and I'm getting that way about vegetables too. And I'm sure we're going to get into it, but it is part of that global food supply where, human beings are supposed to maybe just eat what's around them more than just, I want strawberries, so I'm going to fly in the strawberries from, Ecuador or whatever.
And just the constant pressure to churn a profit and cut and any safety that they possibly can get away with. Yeah.
And we have a lot of lessons to be learned from what we're going to get into, which is, I thought this was silly. Silly fun pitch. It turned out to be a little bit darker than expected, on my end at least. But I pitched you, we should do our top 5.
Did you think it was going to be a goofy, fun episode?
Yeah.
I'm interested in that.
Yes,
because I kind of knew where this was going. I mean, I still don't think it's a good idea, but this is heavy shit. This is like real.
It's shit covered.
Yes.
I thought it would be cute. I mean, I have a particular couple favorites that we're gonna hit, and then I was digging into my favorite one. I'm like, oh, this is perhaps like the darkest and most evil of all of them. So I don't know. Let's roll with it.
Okay, let's go.
Do you want to start, or do you want to start with me? Well, at least I have a.
Yeah, you start.
We'll have an honorable mention really quick.
Okay.
So there were a lot of alcohol poisonings in 2011 in India. And I remember hearing about these afterwards, but they're from December 2011. There was one in West Bengal and one in Sangrampur. They were both, 167 people died in Bengal, and 143 people died at the Sangrampur village in Magrahat in India. I was in India at that time. And
Drinking alcohol?
I was drinking alcohol, and I got really sick.
Oh, right.
And so I was working for a company that sent me to India. I was in Gurgaon, an industrial suburb outside of New Delhi. And I remember the alcohol that I bought. Like, you could buy American liquor in India. I know it's outlawed in a lot of states, and I think in Magrahat and West Bengal, I think alcohol is actually outlawed. So this is definitely bootleg stuff making the rounds. And when you're in India, you can buy Johnny Walker Black Label's humongous. Everybody wants to be drinking Johnny Walker Black Label, and it's a status symbol to be drinking I don't know. I mean, not American alcohol, like everybody's drinking Absolute, which is Swedish, but I guess drinking imported alcohol is a bit of a status symbol. There are local Indian-made alcohols that are legal. Like my favorite, of course, was one called White Mischief, a type of vodka. I swear to you, that's what it's called. And when I drank that in Mumbai, not in Gurgaon, but like anytime we could get White Mischief, we would. But when I was in Gurgaon, which is, and again, I love India. I love Mumbai, like New Delhi. My time the little time I spent in proper New Delhi was wonderful. I would say Gurgaon's the worst place I've ever been in my entire life.
Okay.
Industrial suburb, like end of the train line, like on the outskirts of Delhi. And I bought some real rot gut from like a local market.
What does rot gut mean?
Just like nasty booze.
Okay.
I think it was a whiskey called Admiral's Choice. And I got really sick. I didn't think it was from the Admiral's Choice. I was definitely eating street food in a way that, a little bit recklessly, perhaps. But I wanted to eat the food in India. But the Indian guys who were like, I was working with at this office were like, oh no, it was definitely the Admiral's Choice. It was definitely that bad Indian whiskey that you bought that made you sick.
I thought alcohol, like what can live in alcohol?
It was mixed with methanol. And I guess that will kill you.
Oh, so this is not a pathogen.
No, this is just like a outbreak of like, I mean, it was a tainted batch of
Stuff
liquor
with chemical that you should not be ingesting.
Yeah. So I don't know if I had like any methanol, infused alcohol at that time, but the same time I got sick from supposedly drinking the alcohol. I mean, maybe the guys I was living with or working with were like, oh, well, we're hearing about all these people getting sick from Indian liquor, so we assume that's what made you sick too. And actually, the sickest day I had, I was actually taken to the farm that the company owned. I mean, it was a tech garment industry company that I was working for, and they had this compound that I was living at, and part of the deal with the compound is that they kept a farm not too far from the compound to supply food because they would cook meals for everybody that worked there. And so they roused me out of bed and said, you're going to the farm today. You're going to go check it out. And I was like dying. I was like, oh my gosh, this is not the day I need to be going out on a tour of a farm when I was super, super sick.
Yeah.
So I didn't shit in the field.
Okay.
But I thought about it. And the farm was, it was like probably a 2-acre small Indian farm, totally walled off. It was like really cute. And there was like a family that lived there and tended to it. It was, it was a nice experience. I'm glad I did it, but I was not feeling good that day.
Growing up, when you visited your grandmother, you spent some time on farms.
My mom grew up on a farm in Weed Patch, a farming community about 30 minutes outside of Bakersfield.
Did you ever shit in a farm?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. No.
Okay. It's all right if you did.
I'm trying to think if I did. I'm sure I peed in some grapevines and stuff. But, there were houses close enough by where I was never too far from a house if I really needed to. So I guess that starts us off. That's my honorable mention. What do you got for us here? Top 5 foodborne outbreaks.
It's hard to put them into order.
Okay. I definitely have a favorite or two.
You have a favorite? Maybe are you?
I was going to start with my least favorite and work towards my favorite.
Okay. Can you start just so I can get a sense for what you have involved?
Okay.
I do have them, but
oh boy, I told you I had everything totally organized, and now I'm like, I had 2 mixed up. All right. These. Okay. Let's start with the famous burrito restaurant Chipotle.
Okay. By the way, if any of mine or yours are the same, we should mention it.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have Chipotle?
No.
Okay. Chipotle has one of the worst track records in recent history of foodborne illness outbreaks. And it seems like it's, this Taco Bell one, you can blame it on suppliers or whatever. You can pass the buck a little bit. This seems like Chipotle is just like really fucked up, actually. The big one, they had 2 hepatitis outbreaks in 2008, which that seems psychotic to me.
Yeah.
Hepatitis A, if you're keeping track of which hepatitis we're talking about. Definitely one of the most famous hepatitises. But 4 Chipotle customers from San Diego got tested positive for hepatitis A. They're saying that like one single restaurant employee just like spread it around and got it out there and gave it to everybody. But in that same segment, like that same window when they were doing the hepatitis, they also had norovirus, if you can believe it, also in California. And then there was, I think, 500 people in Kent State University at one Chipotle all got norovirus from this Chipotle. So this is just 2008 for Chipotle.
Jeez.
2 hepatitis A outbreaks, 1 norovirus outbreak.
Yeah.
And that's not even getting into like the 2015, they had their E. coli stuff and salmonella in 2015 and more E. coli. Like it's just like the list of in 2015, they had another norovirus. Like Chipotle might be the worst offender in our lifetime of like making people sick.
Unfortunately, I think there's a major tension between the fast food model that McDonald's essentially created and fresh produce.
What do you mean?
You can't have cheap. You can't treat produce like it's a widget, but that's what they're doing. So that's why we're seeing all of this. The Chipotle was produce stuff. The Taco Bell was produce. It's not that produce is unsafe, but it's that this just in time, like perfectly manufactured, like get it in the bag and ship it out. Like that stuff is just like inevitable that something's gonna come from them.
Yeah, I mean, if you are saying, it's the opposite of shopping seasonally. Like it's like, we've got like bad lettuce crops, and Chipotle is like, well, no, we have to have lettuce for our burritos. They're going to find lesser and lesser lettuce crops.
But also like, we need to make, a half of a cent more per burrito. So like, let's go with you instead of this other.
Absolutely.
Right.
But I think like, there have been other outbreaks and stuff, but in my adult lifetime, like Chipotle just feels like they are the number one place to get sick. I mean, I remember, I think, and again, I've got a lot of problems with South Park, but South Park did an early episode where when Chipotle was on the rise and becoming popular, like everybody loves to go eat that Chipotle, but it'll make you shit really bad. And it wasn't even like a food outbreak joke. It was just, it's so spicy that's going to make you shit weird. And already had a reputation for making you shit weird from that South Park episode, but then you throw in hepatitis A and norovirus and E. coli, and I remember after the 2015 ones, they kind of recalibrated they had to go on the defensive and like do a lot of marketing and say, we've updated our standards pretty significantly, but I don't really feel like they have.
No.
Chipotle has changed hands a few times since it's a relatively new chain. It was founded and then it got bought by McDonald's, and I think it got spun off from McDonald's. I don't know who the owners are, but I got to give it up to Chipotle for just really bungling health stuff over there. And
it's a publicly traded company.
Okay.
Owned by the people.
We did it to ourselves, Adam. I will tell you, just on a little bit of a local Chipotle note, they opened the first Chipotle in the high desert in the area where we live near Joshua Tree National Park. They opened like a newfangled Chipotle in, I think it was 2022, 2023. Everybody was so excited about the Chipotle coming in. They were talking about it. I do the news here in the high desert, and it would come up a lot at the Yucca Valley Planning Commission meetings. And everybody was so excited. We had a unofficial rule in the news department where if somebody says the word Chipotle at the Yucca Valley Planning Commission meeting, we will include it in our story because everybody is so excited. When's this Chipotle going to open? When's the Chipotle going to open? It did open. It's a newfangled one where it's mostly app-based. Like you're supposed to place your order ahead of time and not go wait in the line and stuff like that. And nobody goes to the Chipotle, and everybody's like, it's not a very good Chipotle. And I've actually never been to that Chipotle.
It's still there?
It's in Vaughn's parking lot.
Okay.
By High Desert Tales. So
okay,
there you go. That's shout out to Chipotle for really fucking it up over and over and over and over and over again. What do you got for us?
All right, number 5, Schwann's ice cream salmonella outbreak in 1994.
Okay, now I'm not familiar with Schwann's ice cream. So you're gonna have to fill me in on this.
So, I really would like to do a Schwann's episode because
absolutely.
for certain people, I think especially in the South, this is a big part of groceries. But basically, for people who don't know, they're like a delivery service. You sign up ahead of time. You make a basket essentially, and then they come up like weeks later. It's almost like a Scholastic book fair or whatever, but for food. And then the guys will deliver a bunch of stuff, especially frozen kinds.
My co-host on the morning show that I do in Joshua Tree grew up in this area.
Yeah.
Used to get Schwann's deliveries here in the high desert. Growing up in Long Beach and LA area, never heard of it. Never seen any like cultural ephemera talking about Schwann's. Like this whole concept is so foreign to me specifically, but it was in California too. I can confirm that.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
So 1994, it was pasteurized ice cream, so that's why they were confused. But it was being transported in tanker trucks that had previously used for raw eggs.
Okay.
It remains one of the largest estimated foodborne outbreaks in U.S. history.
I gotta say, I love the idea of these big like tanker trucks like carrying petroleum or carrying like water. If I'm going to be honest with you, I've been behind one that says, caution, this is full of sulfuric acid. And I'm like, I got to get the fuck away from this truck.
Yeah.
But the idea of one of those big tanker trucks just full of like loose, like cracked eggs, like it's just like, you know, 40,000 yolks suspended and shaking in like a tanker truck full of whites seems absolutely psychotic to me. I mean, do you think that they were beaten first? Like, is it like scrambled or were they just
previously used for raw eggs? I don't know.
I mean, all right. There's a famous situation here locally. There's a lot of like weird truck routes that a lot of produce trucks take through. It's legal at state highways, but they're windy, hilly state highways. Right by my house, there are always produce trucks that tip over. And people run out and they go get their carrots or their onions or their garlic. The thought of an egg truck like crashing on the highway and just like this big tsunami of loose, like, there it is. You found a photo of it. It does look like they're scrambled. It does look like they've been beaten.
Yeah, it's like the ones that you put in a carton.
Exactly. It's not. I just wish it was like an Orbitz. With just like the yolks just kind of floating and jiggling around in the traffic. But no, that's beaten eggs running down a ravine. Fantastic. So they thought it would be a good idea to just not even rinse it out and just shove a bunch of ice cream in there.
I guess so. Maybe they rinsed it with a hose one time or something.
See, it is fun to talk about foodborne outbreaks.
Sure.
So you were getting Schwann's? Like you've had this?
No, I've never had Schwann's, but
Okay.
someone I was very close with would talk about it a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so have we heard of ice cream making people sick? I got to say, like, does this happen a lot?
No, never mind. I take that back.
Okay.
I have a milk one, but that's number 2. So.
What was the Schwann's things that was making people sick?
Oh yeah, that's the ice cream.
Oh,
yeah,
what's
I'm saying of like outside of separate, a second one or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah.
I really haven't. I mean,
Well, that's why they were surprised. It's because it was pasteurized and it should have been fine, but the eggs were obviously not pasteurized.
pasteurize it and then you put it into the thing that has all the egg residue on it.
Yeah.
Not like I cook with eggs. We buy our eggs from the farmer's market. We've been getting eggs from a coworker of mine who has chickens in her yard. We've talked about this recently. Even with that high standard of eggs that we're bringing into my house, anything that just touches eggs is like considered like the most toxic thing in my house. It's like, was raw egg touching this? Right into the sink, hot water immediately. Like that is like my top tier. Like I do not fuck around with raw eggs in my house. Like that must be dealt with immediately. So the fact that they just said, oh, let's just put some ice cream. And they put ice cream in the tanker too?
In the tanker, yeah.
That's fun. That'd be a fun spill also.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Oh my gosh. Oh, there's a big car crash, but there's a tsunami of ice cream coming. The kids get out, grab your spoons. Very fun. All right. You ready for my number 4? Odwalla. Do you know Odwalla?
I do, and I vaguely remember this one.
So this was right around the time like where like fresh juices to me, like there was in the 90s. So this outbreak is from 1996, and at that time there was Odwalla, there was Naked Juice, like there was this big movement of like, well, this isn't like Mott's, this is like fresh pressed stuff. This is like raw, this is like healthier for you, which looking back was not any more healthy for you. Do you think it was? I mean, maybe more so than a Mott's apple juice.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I feel like there might be something to certain vitamins being lost in the frozen process or something. I don't want to give Odwalla too much credit, but fresh orange juice seemed like it would have some more vitamins that lasted over frozen and then reconstituted.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And like I got very into carrot juice. Like my big thing from this era of juice drinking is like carrot juice remains one of my favorite things to drink. I don't know how popular it is when I talk to people that I'm like, I'm someone to carrot juice. Like, I don't know if everybody's on the same page as me.
Nobody is. The only other person I've ever heard talk about it is your sister.
Okay. Wow. So I guess it's a very unique thing to, my parents don't drink carrot juice.
Yeah.
Me and my sister would like spend our allowance money on carrot juice.
Yeah.
I think carrot juice is so good. Like, I would like use it instead of milk. I would use it as a dairy replacement. Like I would pour carrot juice into my cereal.
Your sister kind of convinced me because I was like, what the fuck? And she gave me, it might have been Odwalla. It was in your parents' fridge. And she was like, doesn't it taste creamy like milk? And I was like, no way. And then I had some and I was like, I kind of got it in that moment. I haven't returned to it. Okay. This is like a decade ago.
Whenever I'm like feeling flush and in a place where they sell like a good carrot juice, I will buy the carrot juice and drink the carrot juice. It's such a special treat for me. But Odwalla in 1996, they were doing a lot of unpasteurized apple juice. Like that's part of like keeping the vitamins, keeping it like whole foods and stuff. And again, there's certainly a case against pasteurization, but I don't know about at such an industrial scale as we're about to learn from Odwalla. Again,
another one too. There you go, another one.
But apparently, they're saying it's not pasteurized juice. This is like a feature, not a bug of what we're doing. Like they're putting that on the package because that's the vitamins. Pasteurization is heating the juice or the liquid to kind of remove some of these bacteria. It's like it's treating the thing, essentially. But it does kill vitamins when you do that. It does kill some of like the whole product. But they were real quick before actually we get into this. They were using like chlorine and phosphoric acid on their apples instead. We're not pasteurizing it, but we are using like nasty chemicals on the outside.
That's funny. Okay.
Which
they still wash it with chlorinated water, but
phosphoric acid, and maybe that's really standard, but it just sounds nasty. That sounds like if I saw a tanker truck of that behind in front of me on the highway, I would steer clear of that. So again, I don't want it on my body. I maybe don't want it in the body, but apparently Odwalla, and this is like that widget thing they were talking about. Odwalla was buying nastier apples than probably they should have been. They have a term called grounders, which are fallen apples, and those come in contact with animal feces. They were saying there are like a lot of like rotting apples that were just being sent through because they're like, they have a quota to fill. They have an apple quota. They must have such and such amount of apples. And so people were saying that like the apples were even being left to rot in the facility. Like it wasn't specifically like, oh, we're buying less than apples. It's like, we're buying these apples, but we haven't been able to process them yet. And we had to buy them in June because that's when we could buy them for cheap.
Right.
And we're processing them now in August, even though, that timeline.
I'm sure no animals got into the warehouse.
Yes.
Yeah. Rodents or anything.
That's a fair. It doesn't say anything about this, about that on this article, but E. coli outbreak in 1996. And there were a lot of people that got sick. They laid off a lot of people. There's 60 people got sick. One 16-month-old died. Anna Gimstead of Greeley, Colorado. Severe kidney and blood disorder. And The sad thing that I'm learning when we were digging into this is the people that are most affected by these foodborne illnesses, like you and me can joke around about shitting heavy from bad bon me, but young kids are usually the ones that are like dying from foodborne illness.
It's people with immune systems that are either weakened or still developing.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, that's the
one thing I'll say about Odwalla. Let's just go through a quick a corporate thing because it's kind of interesting. In 2001, they were acquired by Coca-Cola.
okay.
And then in July 2020, so early pandemic, Coca-Cola announced that it would discontinue the Odwalla brand by August of that year. And then the next year was sold to an IP company. And now Jumex, I don't know if it's Umex or Jumex, the Mexican, now they own it.
Okay.
So, and they restarted, they relaunched.
I did know that they are still around. I did find this from their website. Odwalla was founded in Santa Cruz by 3 jazz musicians. So that's just a really funny thing.
I'm sure they would have done that if, no, I'm sure music was paying enough that this is just a passion product.
Yes.
Project.
But I do love when they really want to.
Oh, actually, wait, hold on. Sorry to stop you.
No.
These are real jazz. This is the Art Ensemble of Chicago. I am a fan of the group. So one of the guys was in the Art Ensemble of Chicago.
Okay, so legitimate jazz musician.
A legitimate jazz, not just a hippie. I was expecting it to be a hippie Santa Cruz guy not wearing shoes. So, all right.
All right. That's Odwalla. What do you got next?
All right. Where did my document go? All right. Jack in the Box, 1992.
All right, this is my number 1.
Oh shit.
That's great.
We can hold on. Let's hold on. Let's here. I'll skip to number 3.
All right.
You might have to do 2 in a row.
I'm happy to do 2 in a row.
Okay, so I'll skip number 3. Number 3, 1908, Chicago milk-borne outbreak.
Okay, this is 1998.
1908.
1908. I did go back through that, and we really haven't touched on the jungle in this episode, the Upton Sinclair novel, but that's more of a early 20th century look at meat packing in the dairy industry.
I mean, I've got another early one
Okay.
because these ones are interesting to me.
Let's get to it.
So this is essentially when pasteurization became a thing for milk, because there were thousands of cases that were reported. It was typhoid and tuberculosis and scarlet fever and diphtheria, all connected to milk, to unpasteurized milk. So yeah, it was a big deal, and it basically made pasteurization of milk a thing. So yeah, that's
Which we do, on the whole, think it's worthwhile. I mean, there's all these conversations about raw milk, which, if I'm going to be very honest with you, I'm not super plugged into like the differences between raw milk and pasteurized milk and things.
I mean, this is the difference.
Yeah.
The difference is I mean, raw milk advocates will say that there's all this health stuff that's lost in the process, and I'm sure there's some science to back that up. But the flip side is like you don't know. You just literally don't know how clean that milk is. And even if you milk it yourself, there's some amount of a question mark there. But if you're just getting it from someone on the street, like who knows where the fuck that. And so, yeah, I mean, is it like, can you drink raw milk without getting sick? Probably most of the time, but there will be times that you're wrong.
I mean, and again, history has shown, when did Louis Pasteur invent pasteurization? I think in the 1800s, if I had to guess. Before that, people were drinking raw milk, and it was probably fine, but that was their cow or their neighbor's cow, and you just like, I don't know, there was just like a lot more attention paid to the animals, and I'm sure people got sick from the milk at the time. People get sick from pasteurized milk too. It's the nature of like the Industrial Revolution and industrialized farming and commercial farming. Like,
No.
right now, probably wise to be getting into that pasteurized milk.
Yeah, probably.
Do you have any stats on how many people died or who got sick from this?
This says more than a few thousand cases were reported, but it seemed to be a huge deal at the time. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have much one there.
Do you have two more? Or do you have one more?
I have. Well, we're crossing off Jack in the Box, so I have two more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a short one real quick.
Okay.
Almost an honorary mention, but this is just very relevant to my life. The romaine lettuce outbreak there were several of them in 2019, if you recall. That was the year of romaine lettuce will kill you. We've talked endlessly. I mean, the Taylor Farms thing is kind of just the next version of this, but romaine lettuce was giving everybody E. coli. And it was like, okay, romaine lettuce is safe to eat. Okay, now it's not safe to eat. I think there were 3 different national outbreaks / recalls in 2019. At the time, I was doing a lot of food comics, and I was obsessed with I remain obsessed with it, but the story of Caesar salad. And I had spent all this time and put all of this work into a very researched, it's 10 pages of comics, dense pages of comics, and about the history of Caesar salad. And I guess I'm of the opinion that the origins are a little contested. I think commonly they're not so contested, but I think if you dig a little deeper, you can contest these origins.
Well, there's two hotels in Tijuana that claim it, but you're saying that it's much older than that, right?
No. I mean, it definitely. We can get into it. I'm happy to get into it.
You can't just lay it out there and then change the subject.
So, Caesar salad. I believe we were celebrating. Was it 120 years or 100? Turn of the century-ish. There's an enormous Italian diaspora to Tijuana, Mexico. So there's a lot of Italian people going to Baja California, settling in Tijuana, and they are opening hotels. And everything's a little hinky. Records were a little shifty where, this restaurant's not doing so good. Let's just burn it down, get the insurance money, and open a restaurant next door. There's a lot of that at the time. So records are very loose. Blanking on some of the names, but there is a guy who ran a hotel restaurant called Cesar, claims that people came in, demanded food on I think the 4th of July.
He didn't have any ingredients.
And so he just threw this together. He's like, well, I can just put this together. And he did a table side, and that was the big innovation. He had a brother who owned a hotel next door who also said, actually, I invented this and my brother stole it from me. Mm-hmm. And then there's a guy who was a chef for one of the brothers who's actually, I invented this, and they just owned the place and named it after themselves.
Which is pretty likely to me.
That sounds like the most likely thing.
Yeah.
But it is named after the first guy, Cesar. Mm-hmm. And it's a big romaine. If you have Caesar salad, it's romaine lettuce. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. So I was working on this comic about Caesar salad for a really long time, and I was excited to put it out in 2019, and there kept being outbreaks. So I'm maybe I shouldn't put it out right now, maybe I should hold it. And at one point I was just I just got to put it out. There's maybe always going to be Caesar salad recalls. I made a very unfortunate joke about it at a local restaurant, and I think it was overheard by a lot of people. I just moved to the high desert and nobody knew who I was or whatever, but I'm loud. If you go to a bar with me, I can be a little loud. Mm-hmm. And I was meeting with a friend, and he's like, I saw your Caesar salad comic. Did you think it was a good idea to put it out right now? What with the Caesar salad recall? Made a very unfortunate comparison. I was again, I think my heart was in the right place, but whenever there's a school shooting, people are we can't talk about the schools. Now's not the time to talk about school shootings. We have to mourn and pray. Mm-hmm. And I was well, Caesar salads is like school shootings. There's never going to be a good time to do it because there's always going to be one. Mm-hmm. And I think that was perhaps taken the wrong way by some people at the restaurant that I was at. Mm-hmm. Not a way to introduce myself into the community.
Everyone talked about it for
I don't know
months after.
I was pretty embarrassed. That's a moment in my life where I definitely put my foot in my mouth and got E. coli. But I do especially remember the Caesar salad outbreak because that was the main health crisis of 2019. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you heard about any health crises that perhaps we had in 2020.
I don't think I have.
There's a very famous disease called COVID that kind of stole the thunder from E. coli.
I was still focusing on the E. coli at the time.
Yeah, everybody we
finally got through this. We're finally in the clear. We're through the Caesar salad E. coli outbreak. Nothing else can go wrong. But we did get COVID right after that. So there you go. That's my Caesar salad wrap. Maybe we can post a link to the Caesar salad comic I did.
Yeah, for sure.
In the show notes. It was like the New York Times linked to it in some food newsletter or whatever. It kind of made the rounds. It was one of the more popular comics I've done.
Yeah, for sure. All right. This is my second to the end.
All right.
Peanut Corporation of America outbreak, 2008 and 2009. So there was formerly a corporation called the Peanut Corporation of America, and their main job was a processing facility. So they would do industrial peanut butter processing, essentially.
Okay.
So they would process for Keebler and Little Debbie.
I thought Keebler was made by the elves.
Yeah.
They don't process it in the tree there?
Yeah, I mean, maybe the elves sometimes need a little help. So. Okay. Yeah. I don't want to break the mystique for you. Unsurprisingly, whatever, there was like a salmonella outbreak. Like, that's not the surprising part. But I'll say 2009, Oregon officials confirmed the first case of salmonellosis in a dog that had eaten biscuits contaminated with the peanut products. But the interesting thing is that the CEOs were proven to have known about it, and continued to ship it out. So the owner was actually surprisingly sentenced to 28 years in prison.
Wow.
I should research whether I'm sure he's out by now, but on good behavior or whatever. But that surprised me because white collar crime almost never gets prosecuted. But
I did find I wasn't a foodborne illness outbreak, but in my research for this episode, I did find at least one case where like a CEO was sent to prison. But it wasn't for like it was for more fraud, like falsifying ingredients more than, overlooking health standards. Maybe we'll do an episode about the beech nut apple juice scandal one day, but not really relevant to the conversation now. But what was like, they had evidence that the CEO was like, we're just going to keep making this even though it's making people sick. Like,
yeah, but the emails the investigators found set this case apart. Some of the emails came from company CEO Stuart Purnell. He absolutely knew that they were shipping salmonella-tainted peanut butter. They knew it, and they were covering it up.
Yikes.
A food safety lawyer representing some of the victims. When tests did turn up salmonella, company executives sometimes just retested the batch, and then when it came up clean, they sold it. In one memorable exchange when Parnell was told the shipment was delayed because of salmonella, tests weren't ready, he said, quote, just ship it.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's still in prison. I would just assume that, and his brother...
Send him a jar of peanut butter. Send him a jar of tainted peanut butter.
Yeah, dog biscuit. His brother was also sentenced, and another former executive was also sentenced. So all of these sentences are the harshest ever imposed in connection with an outbreak of foodborne illnesses.
Wow. I love to hear it. I don't want anybody to go to prison, but more CEOs in prison.
Yeah.
That's a big thumbs up from me.
Right.
And did we know the name brands that some of the stuff was being sold under?
Well, so there was a bunch that I didn't recognize, but Keebler,
Keebler,
and Little Debbie were the two that I recognized.
Do you know the dog food brand? I guess when I start hearing that dogs are getting sick, that's when I really am like, throw that guy in jail.
No, I don't have it off the top of my head, but yeah.
All right.
Happy Trails multi-flavored dog biscuits.
Yikes. So do you have two more? Or do you have one?
One more.
You have one more, and it is
and then
Jack in the Box?
No. One more, and plus the Jack in the Box.
Okay.
So you have one more.
Yeah, you've got one more, and then
besides Jack,
you do yours.
Yeah,
and then we'll do Jack in the Box together. That's all right. All right, Adam. The next one on my list. I had to do it. It's the main one of our lifetimes. It's like the most famous one, not the one that we're saving for last. Bovine spongiform encephalopathy. Mad cow.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't put that on my list because I did a lot of research about it.
You got to talk about mad cow. This is when you think of like foodborne illness outbreaks, mad cow's the one that it's got to be.
Yeah.
First of all, bovine spongiform encephalopathy.
Mm-hmm.
Wild name, very evocative, but nothing says it better than mad cow.
Yeah. It's like a comic book villain.
I mean, there is a comic book tie-in to mad cow, of course.
Milk and cheese? What?
No, kind of a deep comics, deep comics fact, deep comics lore. Maybe we'll cut this out, but it's very interesting to me. In the second issue of the Fantastic Four from 1963, the Fantastic Four faced off with the shape-changing alien race, the Skrulls, who were impersonating the Fantastic Four and turning the people against them. And to solve the problem, Reed Richards hypnotized the Skrulls, who are like humanoid green aliens. They've been in the Marvel movies. And he said, okay, you are cows. And he made them change into cows and hypnotize them into living the rest of their life as cows. In the 1990s, when the mad cow thing was happening, Scottish author Grant Morrison did a comic called Skrull Kill Crew, in which those Skrulls that were turned into cows were then processed and turned into hamburger. And the people that ate those hamburgers got shape-shifting powers. They got super sick and like a death sentence. And they said, we have these weird powers. We are going to kill all of the Skrulls that we can find that are infiltrating society as revenge for what they did to us.
Interesting. Very good.
5 issues of the Skrull Kill Crew. A really psychotic comic.
Yeah.
Very much inspired by the mad cow situation. This went on for like a decade, right?
Yeah.
I have it initially starting in the 80s. I'm looking for the specific timeline here. But yeah, it started in the 80s, and then they were like, you know what? It's actually fine. Like they started detecting the disease in the cows, and they said, well, you know what? This is kind of a weird thing. We don't quite understand it, but it's safe to like, it's something where dairy cows are being processed back into feed.
Yeah.
So they're like, we get the milk out of them.
It's called meat and bone meal.
There you go.
MBM for short. And so it's like, Soylent Green or whatever.
They are, when the cows have served their usefulness to the dairy industry, they are ground up, processed, and turned back into feed for other cows. And it's that cannibalism is really like, there's a reason it's kind of considered maybe not such a good thing for things to do, to be cannibals, because it's like the diseases just keep repopulating, recirculating throughout that species. So they're getting fed bone and brain and spine from these infected animals. And then it would newly infect animals, and it started spreading, and then it would start spreading to human beings. I believe when it goes to humans, it's called Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, and Kuru also, it's been called. But if you eat a burger or a steak that has this disease, like you will get a neurological disorder.
Okay. Do you know what a prion is? Do you know like the
I did look a little bit into the prion
because it's honestly it's the most terrifying. It's like most existentially terrifying thing.
Okay, you're gonna have to fill me in on the prion.
It is just a protein that is folded wrong.
Okay.
It's like like MC Escher. It's like just or whatever, some like horror, some existential horror of like that protein is wrong, and it influences other proteins to also be folded.
It's wrong. Like the impossible geometry of H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or like Ice Nine from whatever that
is that Cat's Cradle.
Yeah,
Okay.
Exactly. So it's just this little thing that's incorrect, and then it replicates, or it teaches other things to also be incorrect, and that's the disease. It's not a virus or anything like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this was just being I mean, in the way that kind of cancer does, where it starts making other things replicate incorrectly. Like,
Yeah.
they would eat this prion, and prion. They would eat the prion, and then it started influencing their other proteins, and then that would spread to humans and other animals.
Yeah. So it has to it's most comfortable in the brain. The brain is like what it thrives in, but it needs to basically cross up your spinal column to get to the brain.
Fun.
So it takes some time, and it doesn't get to everybody because it's not an immediate thing. But it's also why you shouldn't do like neti pot from tap water, because like up your nose is the directest route to the brain, and it can be in tap water. So
You got to use boiled water, right?
Or like distilled water.
Okay. Yes. When I have done a neti pot, I've bought the distilled water.
Yeah, exactly.
It was it was happening. It was detected in the 80s. It became a really big thing in the mid 90s, and to the point where it like started like affecting like international relations with England and like nearby countries. I know that France has banned UK beef for a long time. I know America banned UK beef at the time as well. I don't know if I have the socio-political wherewithal to like perhaps link it to like some European Union stuff, but it feels like that may have been a part of some of the talks of European Union relations. I know you're saying no on that.
I just don't know.
Yeah. But it was just the biggest scandal. And it's a really hard one. Again, 95, 96 is when all this was happening. And I was really young. We were both probably, 11, 12 at the time. And it's hard. You hear mad cow in England, and you just assume that like cows are like going rabid and like running guys over. You don't really realize that it's like such a more existential, like a headier threat as you.
And that's the other thing, is that it takes years, if not decades, to show up.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we seeing new cases of mad cow today?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. But it can just sort of languish in your body for a long time. And then basically it starts to psychologically affect you first. So you start to sort of lose your wherewithal, and then it starts to affect your nerves, and you have like basically a nerve disease after that.
Right.
So yeah, it's pretty bad.
I don't want to get mad cow.
No.
And if I would prefer to get the scroll kill crew disease, where I could at least like turn my hand into a gun and blow some guys away or whatever.
Yeah. What about being transformed into a cow?
I don't want to be a cow. Although seem better, probably a little less stress.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got for us next?
Last for me is Typhoid Mary.
Okay, wow. I didn't know that was food related.
I know, neither had I.
Speaking of comic books, there is a Marvel Comics character called Typhoid Mary, but I don't think that she is related to a foodborne illness.
Yeah. So typhoid, which I also didn't really know what it was, it's a Salmonella typhi disease. So it's based form of Salmonella. Typhoid Mary specifically was what they call an asymptomatic carrier. So she just had this thing in her body, and her immune system didn't kill it, and it was just there, just chilling. And she was typhoid was a pretty big thing at the time. Like it was an epidemic, but it only affected the poor in like urban communities.
And she was in New York?
Yes.
Okay.
She's in like Long Island. So like a lot of things that only affect poor people, nobody took it seriously until Mary happened to be a private chef for people in Long Island.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So and she would hop from family to family. And after the eighth family got sick, they finally did some like detective work, and they tried to go back and they interviewed all the other families that she had worked for, and all of them had gotten majorly sick with this stuff.
Wow.
So typhoid is killed on cooked food. So cooking kills this thing. But Mary's most popular dish was peach ice cream. And that it doesn't kill it.
Okay.
So she was quarantined in North Brother Island, which is right next to Rikers, right in the Bronx Bay, kind of, for 5 years.
5 years?
She had to promise to get out. She had to promise that she would not cook.
Uh-huh.
But they also just said like, good luck. And she had no other jobs. So she changed her name to Mary Brown. And then she started to cook for at like a home kind of a thing, like a large group of people. And then they caught her again. And then she was quarantined again on the same island for 23 years until she died.
What does the quarantining do, I guess?
It's where they put like lepers and stuff. It's
Okay.
like we don't know how to deal with you.
That
so
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, shame on them.
Yeah. So North Brother Island now is a bird sanctuary, but as you probably are not surprised, there's a lot of dark shit that happened in these like times.
I would absolutely imagine.
While it was this leper colony.
I mean, locking a lady up for 23 years because she just is like sick or whatever. First of all, great class warfare. Going to rich people's houses and making them sick. Good work on her. Don't hate that. I don't know. Just like, I guess this is like pre-ankle monitor, but like they didn't think to try and cure her or give her antibiotics or whatever.
I mean, they didn't have that. It was 1900.
Did they not have antibiotics in 19?
They didn't really know how to kill it.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. So this is the early between 1897 and 1907.
Yikes.
Yeah. I think you can get it. I think we're vaccinated right now for typhoid, like
I think so, yes.
standard shit. But they didn't have that
For now.
for now. Yeah, for now until it evolves.
So look, maybe we could get typhoid, the 21st century typhoid Mary to cook for RFK Jr. and Cheryl Hines.
She probably is already.
I've got some unpasteurized milk for you fellas.
Yeah.
I really didn't know the story of typhoid Mary.
Neither did I.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I'd love to try that peach ice cream. Sounds tasty.
It does sound good.
But I thought when you were telling me that her specialty was something that was not cooked, I thought it was going to be like steak tartare or something.
Yeah.
Just real raw, nasty stuff.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about our big one? You had this as number 3, and I appreciate you chilling and letting us get to it for number 1. The biggest one of my lifetime, the famous Jack in the Box E. coli outbreak. I have to ask, so you grew up in the Baltimore area.
Yeah.
They don't have Jack in the Boxes there, right?
No.
But you heard about this when you were a kid?
Yes.
Okay, it made national news.
It was national news to the point of like, because we had no other familiarity with Jack in the Box, it was the only thing I knew about Jack in the Box. Like the only thing.
So you're like, you had to listen to the news report. Local fast food chain, Jack in the Box, killing kids.
So then when I would come out to LA, I was like, that's it? They're still open? Like I thought of it as like an evil, like the unsafe place.
Unbelievable that it still exists.
Yeah.
I truly cannot believe it. I was a huge Jack in the Box eater when I was a kid. I can tell you the specific Jack in the Box in Long Beach. There's 2 that I would go to all the time when I was in like 4th and 5th grade. And hearing this news, so this happened in 1992, 1993. Trying to really figure out what grade I would have been in. This is probably when I was like, I think I was like one of the first people to go back to Jack in the Box. Like, again, I was 9 years old and I was eating a lot of Jack in the Box at the time. My mom was probably getting me a little too much Jack in the Box. And we'll get to actually what the outbreak was. But my friends were like, you're eating a Jack in the Box? What are you doing? And I'm like, they're going to be the safest place to eat right now. They just got through this E. coli outbreak. What is this E. coli outbreak? It is 73 Jack in the Boxes in between 1992 and 1993 had E. coli infected hamburgers. Their beef was infected by E. coli. 4 children died and 178 people were left with permanent injury. Most of these the kids are like really, really young kids, but they're saying that most of the people that were impacted were like under 10 years old. As an under 10-year-old at the time, why was my mom letting me eat a Jack in the Box? Huge disaster. I was not eating their burgers. I was eating their chicken sandwiches, to be fair. But
What about their tacos?
I didn't get into their tacos until a little later. They're saying that there was a special burger. I think it was called like the Monster Burger, that it was the specific
Interesting.
thing was tainted. And this was like the biggest, this maybe is what put foodborne illness on the map for me, at least. Like when I think of foodborne illness, I think of the E. coli thing. So you were hearing about this on the news. You were under no threat of eating a Jack in the Box.
Yeah, but I definitely knew about it. 100%
Okay.
I knew about it.
this undercooked hamburger patties. Jack in the Box tried to blame everybody else. They tried to blame the Vaughn's companies, which is the supplier of the hamburger meat. But I think what it came down to is that they were not cooking the hamburgers correctly.
So their promotion of the Monster Burger was so good it's scary. And
What was on it?
Because they had a promotion, it was sold at a discounted price. The ensuing high demand, quote, overwhelmed the restaurants, and therefore the product was not cooked long enough or at high temperature because they had to get it out the door and
Really?
get it into someone's mouth. Yeah.
Okay. This is an instance where, like, you could get this specific E. coli even if you didn't eat a Jack in the Box. So, like, one of the kids that died, I believe his parents worked at Jack in the Box. Like, we're talking like 18-month-old kids. And when I say 18-month-old kid got sick from Jack in the Box, like, maybe don't feed your kids fast food if they're that young. I mean, I don't know what I don't have kids. I don't know what an 18-month-old is supposed to be eating, but probably not
Monster Burger,
not sourdough Jack, not Big Mac. But it was like the kid's parents worked at Jack in the Box, so it's like, well, I guess I can understand like bringing the food home, even if it's not the healthiest thing. It's like free and available, and that makes a little bit of sense. But like, then you'd send the kid to the daycare, and the kid would infect other kids at the daycare. Like really, really scary stuff. And this like President Bill Clinton at the time. I try and do this bit on the radio. This is a very little bit of a tangent. I just want to call all presidents disgraced former president. Like,
Wait, you do it on your radio show?
I have done that a little bit.
Because you can do it here.
I can do it here, but it's like I don't want to like be too political. But I just think any president is, you could fairly call them disgraced former president. Bill Clinton went onto the radio to talk about this particular foodborne illness outbreak and answer questions. Like, I think some of the parents of one of the kids that died called in, and he like spoke with them on the radio and talked about it. Jack in the Box quarantined all of their meat. They stopped selling burgers for a while, and somehow they bounced back from this.
Amazingly.
Have you ever eaten a Jack in the Box?
I think I've had their fries.
Okay.
I think that's it.
You know, I have certainly eaten a Jack in the Box since then. So eating a Jack in the Box a lot right after this outbreak. They killed 4 kids, and I mean, the Wikipedia article has like little biographies of all of these kids and like how they got it. It's like really quite sad.
Yeah.
And there was a lawsuit, and I think Jack in the Box like totally rebranded. They introduced like the clown hat guy that does the commercials now.
Oh, that was after.
That was like,
Because that's the other thing I know about Jack in the Box.
the clown hat guy.
Yeah.
They really did a heavy rebrand. I mean, I remember them doing a lot of advertisements saying, "We're sorry, we're really focused on food health," and then they like had an edgy rebrand, and that was where they came back with. I used to love Jack in the Box. I ate a lot of Jack in the Box as a kid. As I said, like, my sister and I did different elementary schools. When I was in 4th and 5th grade, she went to a different school, 1st through 3rd. Just the weird nature of the Long Beach school system. And I had an hour. So my mom would drop off my sister at one school, and then my school was like a block away, but we had an hour to kill. So my mom would take me to get a chicken sandwich at Jack in the Box sometimes for breakfast. So that was when I was doing a lot of Jack in the Box eating, like 4th, 5th grade, right? Like after this E. coli thing. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure it's safe.
Maybe you shouldn't be judging this mom of the 19-year-old.
I was 9. I think there's a difference between an 18-month-old eating Jack in the Box and a 9-year-old. But again, I'm not here to throw judge in any way. And I think in college I probably got a little more Jack in the Box when I moved.
Those tacos?
The tacos were big. You know, it's cheap food. That's the thing about Jack in the Box. It's famously inexpensive. One of the cheapest fast food restaurants you can go to.
So can I read you a little bit?
Please.
So the Monster Burger was discontinued after this.
Of course.
But the Monster Taco remains. So that's still a thing.
That's a legacy.
Yeah. And incidentally, 3 years later, Hardee's, also known as Carl's Jr., launched a product called the Monster Burger. But then eventually it became the Monster Stick Burger. So it's surprising that they took over that branding 3 years later, but I guess they did.
People love monsters. Look at the Twilight series. Look at Interview with a Vampire. People are just obsessed with monsters.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein movie. Everybody's talking about it. Watching that.
Still talking about that.
So when you went to Jack in the Box for the first time, I assume you came out to the West Coast for college. So I'm assuming you were like 17, 18 years old.
Yeah, but I had seen it. I've been to LA a bunch of times before that, and I had driven by it, and I was like, that's it? Kind of thing.
You couldn't believe that it still exists.
Yeah.
Why do we, I guess like the big question is, why do we let these people keep doing what they're doing? Like, this is the latest lettuce outbreak. How many times can Chipotle keep making people sick before we will society ever like turn against these enormous corporations that are literally poisoning us?
I mean, Jeff, they recalled the lettuce.
Okay.
So I think we solved the problem.
I would hopefully, I don't know how you can, I don't know if it's possible to avoid Taylor Farms stuff, but when I see Taylor Farms from now on, I'm going to remember that Sunday night, last Sunday night where I couldn't get off the toilet all.
But that's the problem, is that maybe Taylor Farms is uniquely bad, and maybe that'll come out in some sort of discovery, but I don't think they are. I think every lettuce we get, I think every Subway, I think every whatever we get, they're all the same fucking practices. They're all the same pressures to cut corners wherever they can. And it's going to show up again. It's just going to show up again and again and again.
I mean, I'm really trying to eat most of my stuff from the farmer's market, vegetable-wise, but I know that that's not feasible for everybody.
Right.
And for a lot of people, they are getting their veggies from, a lettuce veggie burrito from Taco Bell, or a Subway sandwich, or from the bag from the grocery store. It's just, we're kind of locked into the system. I'm sorry to sound so systemic and stuff, but what are the other options other than, I shudder to think what my partner spends on kale at the farmer's market. I eat a lot of the farmer's market kale, and it's so good, and I feel confident eating that kale, but it ain't cheap. And
I just bought some yesterday.
It's so good. I'm going to avoid Taylor Farm stuff moving forward. I'm really going to try to. I'm trying to be, when I go grocery shopping, I'm trying to be a little bit more conscientious and buy a few less things in the bag. A big change lately is when I make dog food, I was buying the bag of baby spinach, and now I'm buying the bundle of spinach from the store where it's not the baby spinach.
Which I do think is better.
It's a whole bunch. It's zip tied together. It's loose.
Because it's all made at the same farm. It's not mixed in with Franken spinach from 100 different sources.
So it takes a little bit more effort to wash it and to throw it into
because it's
very filthy,
covered in dirt.
But you throw it in the salad spinner, and I mean, I'm not even eating it. It's going to my dog, but I'm like, I think that's gotta be.
And you're cooking it, right?
Oh yeah, it gets cooked for the dog.
So cooking solves a lot of these problems. I mean, if you want to be safe.
I love steamed iceberg lettuce. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
So the spinach is fine to cook, and I'm still eating kale from the farmer's market. I had a couple salads this week that I love, but I don't know if I'm going to be buying any Taylor Farm salad kits for a long time. And
that's what you want to avoid.
All right, you're showing me the bag of Taylor. I assume that they are also putting it in other, they have
they do have sub-levels.
Yeah, for sure. So just double check your shit. I would love to do an episode. I've done an extensive comic about not just Caesar salads, but the clamshell prepackaged salads that I assume a lot of them are coming from Taylor Farms. And I think that's an enormous topic, and we will be digging into that topic at some point. But bag lettuce and salad stuff just really endlessly fascinates me. And it's a shame that people are getting sick from this. Cause
we did do an episode, but we can do another. Endless. Yeah.
But yeah, so at the moment, avoid Taylor Farms lettuce until we say it's okay to eat again.
Yeah, buy a regular lettuce. Throw away the outer leaves after you wash it. And
I mean, a head of iceberg lettuce is pretty inexpensive,
right?
And when we cook with lettuce, we never bought the bag. We always buy the whole head. Throw out the outer leaves, rinse it, throw it into the salad spinner.
Because that's the other thing, is that a lot of times the outer leaves are getting shredded.
Yes,
and they're
touching everything.
Contaminated.
Yes,
but unfortunately, things like raspberries, and there's other things that are way less easy to you don't cook them, and they're less easy to clean, and they can be sources of this kind of a thing. But I think that the systematic issue is not as broad. So yeah.
All right. Anything else we want to hit?
Nope.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us here on Clean Up on Aisle podcast. This has been a really interesting one. So hopefully we all learned a lot, and hopefully we're all going to avoid lettuce. For Clean Up on Aisle podcast, I'm Jef Harmatz. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Thank you.